Yeah, great. I want Ryan Garcia next. I want that belt. You know, it's hard to, I can't say get up for the fight, because I always train hard. But ultimately, you know, it was a run-out fight. It turned out to be a good fight. And, you know, Regis is a great fighter, two-time former world champion. But, you know, I want that world title next. Yeah. Garcia, I want my belt. I want my belt. Keep my belt warm. September, let's go. Any day of the week, twice on Sundays. 10 rounds, easy. Garcia, you're next. Keep my belt warm.
All right, guys, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn. I want to know what you guys think of this sort of matchup, because for me, it's nothing short of a super fight. And the reason I say that is Conor Benn seems to make bigger and bigger headlines every time we see him, whether it's in the sport, whether it's just in day-to-day life. He is a guy that brings eyes and attention to the sport, from the scandals to the Chris Eubank Jr. fights to backstab and matchroom. Lots of it negative, but some of it positive. He brings eyes to this sport. People want to watch when he fights, either to watch him get knocked out or to watch him knock someone out. And guess what? You could say basically the exact same thing about his counterpartner in Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is arguably the biggest name in the sport, if not the biggest. And you combine all of that with the fact he's just become a world champion after spanking Mario Barrios. For me, the fight's mega. It is. It sells out any stadium, in my opinion, whether it's in the US or the UK. It sells out any stadium. We got a Pom versus a Yank. I think it's got everything you'd want in a super fight. And I mean, the headlines around this fight, the shit talk in this fight, and then the action that I believe this fight will come out with, because the way Ryan Garcia approached that fight with Mario Barrios, the way Conor Benn basically approaches every fight, it would be fireworks. It would be a barn burner from start to finish. And I think it's very, very likely to happen. I just showed you a heap of clips of them two talking. I think Conor Benn, when he's choosing an opponent, he's called out a lot of big names, and there can't be any more excuses. There can't be any more Regis Progresses. It has to be one of these big names he's talking about. And for me, you argue amongst yourself who's the easiest. I think Shakur Stevenson is by far the hardest, and it's the one you'd steer away from. Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and Rolly Romero, I mean, you take your pick who's the best one. Because, you know, we've got three guys there, three world champions, three guys that have fought each other. I mean, Rolly Romero beats Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia beats Devin Haney. But I don't believe that Rolly Romero beats Devin Haney. So take your pick who the best one is. Either way, you're picking the one that makes the most money. And the one that makes the most money is Ryan Garcia. And I actually have an interesting thought on this matchup and on this fight happening. We've got Conor Benn and we've got Ryan Garcia, two uncontracted fighters. Obviously, Ryan Garcia claims that last fight with Golden Boy was with Mario Barrios. That was the last one in that contract, and he's now a free agent. We've got Conor Benn, who was contracted to one Zuffa fight, but I don't think anybody saw him signing with Zuffa in general. And I see a world in which we see Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn fighting under Zuffa. Whether that's for the Zuffa belt, whether it's just for the WBC, whether it's for both. I very much see that fight. If Zuffa Boxing were happy to offer Conor Benn $15 million to take on Regis Progress, imagine what they'd offer him to take on Ryan Garcia as a main event selling out a stadium. I mean, I can very much see that fight happening. I don't know who else these two guys are going to go and get contracted with. I'm not sure who would sort of stand up and sign Conor Benn at this current second. I mean, you just never know with the guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Matchroom re-signed him. I think Eddie Hearn has a soft spot for him. Despite what's happened, I do believe Eddie Hearn has a soft spot for him. He's shown that in the past. I think he'd show that in the future. It really just comes down to who's going to offer these two guys the most money. We've got two guys here that could put on a mega fight. I think people will be throwing the bag at it, and I think there's a good reason to do so. We see these two guys take on each other October, November, December. I think for me, the fight has to be made. Somebody just needs to go and say, here is a big bag of money. Let's get this fight made. And I think we should talk about who we favored in this fight, because we've just seen Conor Benn put on a stinker against Regis Progress. I went back and watched it. It just wasn't great. And there's a few things that I don't know what it was. Is it just Regis Progress was crafty enough, veteran enough to steer away from those big power punches of Conor Benn? Was Conor Benn just really bad tonight? Even though he dominated, won 8-2 rounds, he's the heavier fighter, he's the bigger fighter, he's the more youthful fighter. He should have won that fight. But for me, he should have stopped him, especially after walling him out in the first round. He was there for the taking. Why did Conor Benn not be able to do that? Why did it go to a decision? Is that because Regis Prograis is that crafty veteran? Is it because Conor Benn can't now fight at 150? Is Conor Benn a middleweighter instead of a welterweighter? Is he a super welterweighter? I think there's a lot of questions about Conor Benn and where he sits, whereas you compare that to Ryan Garcia in his last performance. I mean, that's the greatest Ryan Garcia we've ever seen in our lives. It's the first time we've seen him use two hands, and he demolished the current welterweight champion in Mario Barrios. So for Ryan Garcia, he's on top of the world, and that's why I put him a far favorite right now over Conor Benn based on last performances. I think Ryan Garcia on his night destroys Conor Benn. The good thing is for Conor Benn creates chaos. Conor Benn does have power. Conor Benn can win that fight. And Ryan Garcia, there's no guarantee which one you're going to get, because his last two outings couldn't be more far apart between Mario Barrios' performance and Rolly Romero performance. So with Ryan Garcia, you never know what you're going to get. With Conor Benn, you don't know what you're going to get. And for me, it just creates more and more and more excitement around the fight. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. Honestly, right now, I would favorite Ryan Garcia, but either way, I want that fight being made. I think it's the best fight to be made. If you don't like Conor Benn, you're probably saying, I want to see Shakur Stevenson fight him, because I think Shakur Stevenson absolutely kills the guy. Like, I wouldn't be close. Whereas I think Ryan Garcia, you never know what you're going to get. There's always a bit of mystery. There's always a bit of chaos. I think it's the best fight out of the bunch to make. I don't see Conor Benn beating Devin Haney. I do see him having a good competitive fight with Rolly Romero, and that's because I don't really rate Rolly Romero that highly. But there is a lot of fights to be made, providing he can get himself down to welterweight. It is a weird one, because I heard a lot of people saying, oh, his poor performance today was because he's fighting at welterweight and he can't fit that weight. But he comfortably made the weight, and he showed good cardio over 10 rounds and outworked Regis Prograis. He just probably doesn't have the power. So I don't know, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but for me, it's definitely going to happen next. I think this is the one we're going to see. Unless something unbelievably weird happens, I think we're going to see Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn. I think there's going to be a shit ton of money thrown at it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury with a co-main event of Conor Benn versus Ryan Garcia. That sells out stadiums all across the world. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think.